Welcome back to Gamers Station, and today I've got an interesting title which is based on the Witcher series. It's called The Witcher Adventure Game, and it's not quite what you would expect it to be from a Witcher game. Now, the Witcher series is this action-adventure RPG which has been going on for quite some time, and a lot of us are waiting for The Witcher 3, which is releasing this year, which is one that I will be checking out. But first, to sate our Witcher hunger, we've got the Witcher Adventure Game, and this is a board game. And I know that sounds a little weird, but board games and analog gaming in general is actually starting to come back, and it's really taking off in Malaysia as well. So I thought I'd show you guys this to maybe sate the Witcher fans and also the analog gaming fans. Now, of course, it is not just a board game, it is on the computer as well. So let's go check it out.
In a dark fantasy world where gold can buy both life and death, monsters run rampant and the choices you make determine who you are. Four unique heroes embark on a journey of adventure and mystery. Based on the best-selling video games and books comes a new kind of board game storytelling experience. Hunt monsters, solve mysteries, embark on dangerous quests, and lose yourself in a vibrant world that begs to be explored. The Witcher Adventure Game.
So how's the Witcher Adventure Game actually play? Well, you have to think traditional board game, but it's not just a board game by itself. It's actually got lots of cool features and lots of interesting elements which run a lot faster on the digital platform. Now, they are actually bringing the board game to the physical world as well, but they're releasing this first. And it's not the only analog-based game that's coming out this year. I'm going to be checking out a few more in the future as they come out. But this game is very, very complex. I mean, they released a tutorial video onto YouTube, and it's 15 minutes long, and it's almost mind-blowing how complex it is for a board game, and especially on the digital platform. So basically, this is how it goes. You pick one of 4 characters from the Witcher series, and you play 2 players to 4 players. And basically, the objective of the game is kind of up to you. When you start the game, you pick an objective, and then you have to go through the world, going through from city to city, location to location, completing objectives and side quests and collecting items and boosting your stats and leveling up and all that stuff. So it's kind of like an RPG board game, and I won't get too much into all the mechanical details of the game, but generally you have a certain number of action points, and each turn you can either travel, you can heal yourself, or you can carry out certain actions like questing and maybe doing certain things. So of course, each of the 4 main characters has their own special abilities as well. So the interactivity of it really comes down to, you can actually play the game without actually interacting with the other players. That is actually possible. And as you go through the game, you sort of collect these points so that you can win the game. But if you do cross paths with another one of the players, they can either help you or they could get in your way. So if someone helps you or if you help someone else, then you both get extra points. Whereas, you might want to get in their way instead because you might want to hold them back from winning. So there is a little strategy to it, and combat and generally the whole game mechanics revolves around cards and dice. So card draws and dice rolls, and each character has their own deck to draw from. And so every time you play the game, it's gonna be a different experience. And they estimate there'll be at least 120 hours of gameplay before you actually exhaust the game, which is not bad for a game like this. So playing with your friends, of course, is gonna be a lot more fun, but it could be very difficult to get into. So that might be a little bit tricky.
Choose the hero who best fits your style. Play as Geralt of Rivia, Monster Slayer Extraordinaire, Triss Merigold, Cunning Sorceress, Yarpen Zigrin, Fierce Dwarven Warrior, or Dandelion, Roguish Bard, and use their unique skills to trump everything that stands between you and victory.
So, should you be interested in the Witcher Adventure Game? Well, if you've been into board games and you're looking for a new one to get into, especially on the digital platform where you can play multiplayer with your friends, then this is one you want to look at. And if you've been spending a lot of time in analog or board game cafes recently, then yes, you would want to look at this. But again, if you're looking for something that's super action-packed and filled with explosions, then not this game per se. But it's not to say that this one does not have a lot of combat and sort of action-y stuff. It is still based based on the Witcher series. So if you're a fan of the Witcher series, then you're most likely going to be a fan of this, simply because of the setting, the characters, and the nature of the game. It's actually very, very interesting and very well made. It's very polished, it's very clean. It's still an enjoyable experience. And if you've been waiting for The Witcher 3 and you just can't wait any longer, then try get into this for a little while, wait a couple months, and then we'll get The Witcher 3 coming along. So generally it's a very good game, and just go check it out. Though it might be a little complex at the start, with a bit of time you'll get into it, and then it'll be very, very fun.
The Witcher adventure game is a game of mystery, danger and questing for 2 to 4 players. Take the role of one of 4 beloved characters from the best-selling novels and award-winning video games. You'll travel the world, braving vicious, bloodthirsty monsters and gold-grubbing men.
Oh, the end of another episode of Gadget Nation, and I'm sad. But the good news is, that means we'll be back same time, same place next week with new gadgets, new news, and a whole lot more prepared just for you. Maybe we'll go old school and review a typewriter. Or maybe not. I'm not entirely certain. You have to stay tuned to find out then. In the meantime, find us on Facebook, Twitter, etc. We would love to hear from you about anything you've seen on the show, or anything you want to see on the show, or any other comments that you might have. Once again, a big shout out to Ministry of Coffee here in Soho, in the Mont Chiara area, for hosting us. It's been an absolute pleasure. My name is Adam Carruthers. Till next time.